Hey, welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing it to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. So let's be honest, this is the greatest job on earth. Doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type, you can create an amazing life in sales. Today's guest, definitely no stranger to the journey. I'd like to welcome Mr. Jason VanDevere. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited. I was reading your profile before we started this episode, so I'm really excited to jump in, man. I want to hear your crazy sales story.
Yeah. So this was back when I was selling cars. So what I used to do. So I'm on a test drive. Driving the car is this lady. She's buying a car for her deaf mom. All right. So her deaf mom is in the back seat and we're stopped at a stoplight. And this is a sedan. And all of a sudden it sounds like gunshots are going off. Pow, 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 pow. And she's like this larger African-American lady. She looks at me like real serious, like, what the hell are you trying to pull on me? She's getting all intense. We're like sitting at their stoplight. The deaf mom is in the back just staring at us like super confused. And I'm like, yo, like I'm just sitting here, whatever. So we keep driving to the dealership. We walk around the car like, what the heck was going on? All this popping. Somehow I sold the car. It was like, I don't know what that was, but we're going to sell the car. So when they're cleaning it up for the delivery, apparently we were doing this balloon sale where we had all these balloons out on the lot. And one of the lot porters, instead of getting rid of the balloons, just was lazy and stuffed them in the trunk of this car. And it was a super hot day. And coincidentally, they started all popping when we were on our test drive. And it no joke, sounded like gunshots. But like this lady went from great rapport to like, what are you trying to do to me? And I was like, I don't know. So wild sales experience for me.
That is, man, and I've chatted with a lot of guys from the auto industry, and like some of the stories that I've heard about test drives, like they could have their own podcast in and of themselves. Like,
there's some goofy things that happen.
If you're in the auto industry right now, you should have a podcast that talks about all the crazy shit that happens on test drives. Like people would absolutely love it, especially in your industry. Now, that said, Jason, I know you've grown past being in the auto industry, right? So what I understand is it was like a family business or something you were involved in?
Yeah. And grown past, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the sales business. Not like now I trump whatever they were doing. Just wasn't for me. But so my dad is a car dealer. So if you ever come to our city, you'll see my last name, VanDevere, all over. VanDevere Kia, VanDevere Cadillac. He's got 5 dealerships. So I was in line to become the 4th generation to own and manage these portfolio of dealerships. And it was just what everyone assumed I would do for my whole life. Loved it. I would say I really learned a lot. I did enjoy selling cars and the atmosphere of it, but specifically the auto industry wasn't a passion of mine. So I left, and everyone told me it was crazy to turn down this opportunity to become a car dealer, but I wanted to find something I liked.
That is a crazy transition for most people to think about, right? Because a lot of sales professionals get into sales because they don't have a choice, right? They got to put food on the table. They got to put diapers on their baby. Here, you came from a different perspective of like, it was in your blood. Like this was just like kind of the path for you. And then you have this idea that you want to go chase something else. And I think there are other people out there who are in that experience of like, hey, I kind of fell into this opportunity. It's been really good. It's not that I don't have gratitude for what I'm doing, but I've also got some bigger dreams and goals and aspirations. So like, how do people really start leaning in on that so that they can take that step? Because I'm sure it wasn't easy.
It was frightening. I feel like sales is so much of this journey of self-improvement. If you want to take it seriously, right? Like you can just show up and smile and try and earn a living. But I feel like if you're going to give sales everything you want, it becomes this journey inside of yourself of like, what do I believe I'm capable of? What are the fears, the limiting beliefs that are holding me back? I don't know if that's been your experience with it, but it was this journey inside myself of self-improvement. And as I was doing well in sales, it gave me the confidence to know like, okay, if I can sell something, that's like the biggest factor. And if anything else I would do would work. So I would say that was this foundational skill set that said, I'm going to go start my own business. So I started with real estate and then e-commerce, which e-commerce completely different animal of sales, but still like same concepts need to be delivered. And it gave me the confidence to do that.
That is awesome, man. And I love this story, and I was super excited to have you on the show because, like, Call the Damn Leads, was originally just a silly sales e-commerce idea that I had, right? I
Hmm.
was in the marketing business, I was working with business owners, and, the best thing that happens as a marketer is you do a great job and you bring someone a lot of leads. And the worst
Hmm.
thing that happens is you bring all those leads and they don't actually call them. And so I would just joke with my
Hmm.
buddies, like, I'm going to put that on a t shirt one day and we're going to sell it to everybody in this space because they're going to love it. And we're very grateful to have this opportunity. But you're right, it is a different beast when it comes to sales. It is not the same
Yeah.
thing as, hey, I have a product or service that someone absolutely needs. They don't have a choice on like buying it. They're gonna buy it. It's just a matter of who they're gonna buy it from and what they're gonna do with it.
Hmm.
And what I would be curious for you, because like as someone's taking that step into like building their brand, starting their business, if I understand correctly, you've kind of got a framework that's allowed you to step into these different industries and avenues and be somewhat successful in them. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd love to break that framework down real quick. I want to add in because I feel like you touched on something. Just this concept of calling the leads, right? Like when I was in the sales, it was very direct. You had your list, here are the people to call. But now as I'm more in a business owner role, there's always somebody that you need to be calling. Like I just launched a book last week. Right now, my days have been spent reaching out to news stations I'm trying to get on, podcasts like yourself, influencers. It's a grind. You're reaching out to these people again and again. Most of them you never hear back from them. So that muscle that you're building in sales is incredibly powerful. But framework that I would say has allowed me to do well in sales, start a couple businesses, is 4-step process. First one is, I call it seek expert counsel, where I had a mentor once of mine. Very direct guy. He said this in a very bold way to me, so I won't be able to deliver it with as much enthusiasm. But he was like, "Hey, Jason, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? So whenever you want to accomplish something, the easiest way to do it is find someone who's already accomplished it and just ask them how they did it. Boom, there's your straight line." So when I was in sales, it was like, okay, I need to go get the top performer and I need to take him out to lunch. Or if you were the top performer, it's like, I need to find someone way better than me, going to conferences, reading books. You probably know the beauty of having a podcast. Like now I can reach out to these people with my podcast, but I'm going to get in touch with these people and figure them out. How did you get from where I am to where you're going to be? So that's step one. And if you want, we could talk about cold calls and calling the damn leads. Completely applies there. It's a grind to find those experts, but it's an asset at the same time. Second step is whatever they tell me, I need to break it down to a 90-day goal. I don't know if you've read the book, The One Thing, but there's this question in there that I love. What's the one thing that by doing everything else would be easier or irrelevant? And based off of the facts, the concepts I get from these experts, I try and identify that number one thing. Then you just got to execute. Say no to everything else. Step 3, you got to execute. And the fourth is you got to reflect. Sounds kind of like a loopy optional option, but I would say that one step has probably been one of the biggest factors in why I've been able to grow within myself, is because I need to learn, like, are my actions working? What's not working? I need to celebrate my accomplishments to give myself the courage and the confidence to keep calling the leads even when I don't feel like it. So that is the 4-step framework.
I love that, and congratulations on the new book. By the way, I'm very
Thank you.
excited to get into that in a second. But
Yeah.
what I love about this is I too have had many mentors like you. I'm sure you've gone and found all sorts of different mentors in different areas of your life to get where you are. But I had one that really he was kind of the same, very direct, like in your face, and even if you didn't like hearing it, he was going to tell you. But he would say, what gets measured gets improved. And what I appreciate about your 4th step, the reflect, that's where you're doing your measurement. That's where you're looking at, hey, over the last 90 days, here's our numbers. Here's the, total calls we've done. Here's how much money we've made. Here's how many closings we've had. And then even getting deeper into what was the conversation that got them to actually buy from me versus all the people who said no. And really reflecting on what's worked and what hasn't. Because if you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result, that's what they call insanity.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Right? It just doesn't work that way. So what I love about this is, for anyone who's trying to take that step and kind of move into like, okay, I'm ready to look for someone to learn from. I'm going to seek out the counsel. I'm gonna put in the work. I'm gonna reflect on this. Like, what's the first step to go out and finding customers? Because like that's usually the hardest part is right off the rip. It's like, okay, I've got this great idea and I want to go get after it. Now what?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like starting a business of your own. You don't have a customer base. Where are you going to go to? Am I following that correctly?
Yes, sir.
So here's the beauty of this is if you have no customer base, one, I want to tell you that you probably do. Pull up your phone, how many contacts you have in there. There's probably hundreds, thousands, and I would start reaching out to them. If you're launching a business, everybody should know, hey, here's this problem I can help people solve. Do you have it, or who do you know who does? But you should reach out to everybody. You're going to have a million different thoughts and fears going through your head that tell you no, but that's your warm market. I think like business owners think once I'm successful, then I'll go tell all my friends and family. And it's not going to work. You gotta beg these people for help. And I think that's like good getting off the ground point, but that's not scalable, right? You can't rely on them forever. The next thing I would go to is who has already built your base of customers for you. Right? Like when I was launching, let's say my planner business, it's like, okay, I didn't have any customers. Some of the people in my phone contacts, I let them all know I was launching a planner. But then there were these influencers who had already built my target. They'd already gathered all my target customers and put them in one spot, a YouTube channel, a podcast, an email list, some paid mastermind group. And I would reach out to them. And for me, like I was mailing them free planners. I was offering to do free workshops, but it's who has my audience already and what can I provide so I can tap into it for free? And maybe let's start there. Do you have any thoughts on that stuff? Or I'm going to keep going.
I think, the in different companies, they'll call it like your sphere of influence or your circle of influence, right? Those are the people that you can reach out and touch. That's like your first round of connections. And you're absolutely right. There's such a mindset shift around the willingness to reach out to them, because I think a lot of people get to that point and they're like, well, I don't want to be spammy or obnoxious or salesy or whatever. And you can definitely come off that way if you go about it the wrong avenue. However, I think a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit for what they've done for other people in their lives and the willingness of others to be able to offer at least some sort of help, right? Maybe it's a referral. Maybe they actually do need the thing that you're selling and they're like, well, sure, I'll give it a shot, man. And then you get to a point where it's like, okay, now who do I talk to? And you're going to find that there's probably people in your direct circle right now that are like, yeah, man, I would love to help you with that. Let me give you some advice. Let me share some insight or wisdom from my current, past experiences. And so it's kind of, you start getting that early mentorship from people who have been down the path. But like, what do you do when you really realize like, hey man, I want to connect with that influencer or that business owner who really has the audience that I'm looking for. And I want them to help promote me, but I don't want to do, I don't have a bunch of money to pay them. And I don't want to be like an obnoxious pest and just bother them all the time. Like, what are some of the ways that they can build those relationships, get some of that advice from the people that want help, but without having to spend a massive amount of money?
Yeah. So most of the time I'm cold emailing these people. Lots of other people try and build a relationship on social media for a lot longer. I can't say I've had success with that. Normally it's like, here's what I can offer and you can take it or leave it. But I would say I've been focusing on the quantity. I need to reach out to dozens, hundreds of people and deliver. I'm going to be doing stuff for free workshops, free planners, free PDFs. I'm going to try and find a way to serve your community. And that's how I'm giving to them. So it's who's going to let me serve their community. And once you can do it once or twice, things do get easier, where now I can leverage, like if I was on somebody else's podcast, I can leverage that to get on another. Or if you had me to come do a workshop of yours and we just crushed it, chances are you might know somebody that also would like me to come deliver a workshop, and I'll ask. Or I might look through your previous history and be like, oh, here's the 6 other people that have done workshops with him. I'm going to reach out to him and let them know, hey, I saw you did a workshop together with Drewbie. I just did one with him. We should connect and we can do one together too. So it's like each one of those connections, how can I turn it into more opportunities? So again, maybe the like trying to build a relationship through social media will work. I had tried that for a long time when I first launched mine. I'm trying to even think if I really got one of those people to do it. Or maybe another angle would be to first ask for advice and then go ask them to help you somehow. Like if you're just asking for advice, there were some people that, let's say with my e-commerce business, if somebody had an e-commerce store I really appreciated, I would email them and ask them like a very specific question that I wanted to know that they could tell me yes or no. And just start the conversation, or not yes or no, but they could give me a quick response to it. And then at least I would start the conversation, and then maybe I could offer, hey, thank you so much. If you would want, I'd love to offer this to you completely free. But at least there's a somewhat warm thing, and you're doing two things at once. I'm getting a mentor, and I'm potentially going to find a partner.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's definitely a nuance to it with social media. It's not like an overnight thing. And even with cold email and direct outreach, like you still are building the relationship. But I love what you said about providing value to their community, because a lot of the times what I've personally experienced and, am going through in my own community, and you probably have similar things, is like, we're only one person and we can only help so many people. And when you get with someone who has this big, massive, hairy goal of like helping as many people as they can with the specific problem that they help solve, oftentimes they're looking for that raving fan, that person that's just like, dude, I love what you do. I think it's amazing. I'd love to help more people with it. Let me share some value. Let me learn everything that you have going on so that I can pour back into your community with it. And I know for myself, like, going in with that mindset of like, hey, I'm just going to engage with this community. I'm going to send the occasional direct message that's not like overly aggressive, but just letting them know, hey, man, I appreciate what you have going on. Thank you so much for sharing all the content. It's really helping me in my journey and what I'm building. And even like you said, maybe peppering in that one little specific question that lets them know that you've actually done some of the research and the work yourself, and you're getting to another layer or level of that real growth. Because there's, a lot of times people are asking the same dumb question over and over and over. And it's just like, man, like you could have got this from my podcast or my book or any of these other places, but you're in my DMs asking me this question, versus someone that's actually taken the time to do, read through the book or listen to the show. And then they come back and they're like, well, hey man, I heard you mention XYZ. I want to go another level deeper on that. And that's when you'll get people that are like, oh yeah, let me tell you more about it, because they get excited. That's where they get fulfillment. And it doesn't always come at a monetary expense. I think that's kind of the big piece of this, right? Is if you do it right, people will love to share with you, and they'll pour back into you knowing that you're someone who's going to take it seriously. And what I know is that it can be uncomfortable for people to take that step. It can be hard to, kind of put your ego down and humble yourself to be like, hey man, I don't know what I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. And so how do the younger entrepreneurs and even new sales professionals that get a little bit nervous to get uncomfortable, like what are some of the things they can do to really take that step?
Yeah, I would start specifically for influencer reach out, start really small. Like one of the first people I did a workshop for, there might have been like 3 older women who logged on as the people on the other end of the audience. I don't mean anything against older women, but like that wasn't, I thought like, oh, workshop, like they're going to fill it up with all these young entrepreneurs. But it's okay. Like I delivered it, and I would say 2 things. I learned so much by delivering to somebody else's audience. What were they looking for in me? How can I help follow up? You develop a relationship with somebody, but then it's a social proof. So I would start small, like go to the YouTubers who have 1,000 followers. When I was launching my planner business, I was looking for people who had under 10,000 followers on YouTube. More than, a couple hundred, something where they did have an audience. But once you start getting over that threshold, people typically wanted money, or they wanted to see I had some sort of audience to share. Now, if I've got email list of 10,000 people, it's like, if this guy has an email list of 10,000 people, we can swap. And it's like, we both help each other out. But if they've got an email list of 10,000 and you have 0, you're going to have to bring something else to the table. So I would start smaller, or be prepared to pull money out of your pocket.
Yeah, and I love that too, because it's better to start small and make those little mistakes and learn and tweak as you go, versus going right in and being like, hey, I'm going to talk to this audience of 5,000-10,000 people right off the rip, and then fumbling through your presentation, or not actually having things in an order that's logical for the viewership. Because if you don't do things in the right order, especially when you're doing like a one to many in that scenario, people kind of tune out, right? They're like, I was kind of
Mm-hmm.
interested in this, but it's not really flowing, so I'm out of here. I'm staring at my phone or doing 96 other things that exist. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where people have that self-doubt where they're like, well, I'm not perfect yet, and
Mm-hmm.
the imposter syndrome, if you will. But I love that advice of like, start small. Even if it's 3 or 4 people, you're going to get better at it. You're going to learn how to
Yeah.
communicate with someone else's audience. You're going to learn how to present yourself in a way that's valuable and also attractive. Because the goal
Mm-hmm.
with all of this is that you're building the relationship and you're getting other people to see what you have going on in a way that makes them go like, yeah, I like this guy's style. I'm going to go check out his planner. I'm going to go check out his website. I'm going to look at, XYZ landing page that he offered us or whatever that free thing might be. And
Mm-hmm.
I say all that to say, Jason, is that we could probably sit here and nerd out on this all day because I love these conversations. I love your energy. I can tell that this is something you think a lot about in your entire life. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what's the best way for the listener to come find you, follow you, check out more of your stuff, man? Because I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I know for me, I'm excited to check out your new book too.
Yeah, thank you. So my book is called Dream Driven. I would say that's the place to start if you're looking at taking your sales experience to start a business of your own. Check out my book on Amazon. My website is called Goal Crazy, but I think there's one thing that'll make this all worth it to you. Like I know sales just pushes your comfort zone. It pushes my comfort zone. For me, you got to persist through these leads. You got to push through the difficult conversations. And for me, the only way I can get through it is if I have a dream that's inside of me that lights a fire inside of me, right? Like I'm willing to do this because I can see how this is going to get me this dream outcome that I really want. And if somebody needs help finding what that dream outcome is that they really want, if they go to my website, I have this free course. I've sold this exact course over 40,000 times. I'm going to give them free access to it. If they go to goalcrazy.com/course, it's going to help you find what's the dream, the vision that you really want for your life. That's going to light the fire inside of you that will then say, I'm willing to go out and do these really hard things. Because look, if your desire isn't bigger than the challenge that's what's in front of you, you're just kind of quit. But when you have this dream that's huge, reaching out to dozens of influencers and getting told no, and Jason, you suck, don't email me again. Like that's you got to have a really big fire inside of you to keep pushing through it.
Amen, dude. A freaking man. That is it's wisdom that you hear over and over and over, and you have to remind yourself every day, because as you continue on this process, man, new levels, new devils, as my mentor used to say. There's always a new challenge. There's always a new comfort zone that you're getting out of. And so I love that advice of finding the real inner passion that drives you, because it will help you build a ramp over every single roadblock that you come up against in the journey. And so I just want to say thanks again for your time today, man. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Listen, you guys know what to do next. If you enjoyed the episode, if you got some value out of what Jason brought to the conversation today, which I know I did, but if you did, I want you to take this episode and share it on social media. Tag us, let us know that you enjoyed it, that you got some value out of the time that you invested in here, because that's the one thing you can't get back. And if you know somebody that's got like a really cool idea and you want to encourage them to go out and go after it, send them this episode. Let them know that you're there to support them. And, even if you can't buy their biggest, most expensive package right away, you can still provide value by sharing their message and helping them grow the thing that they have inside of them that they want to bring out. And that's going to be an amazing thing for everyone involved in that scenario, especially Jason and I, because we don't do this for nothing, right? We want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big overarching dream that we have. And so share this with someone that could use it. Send it out. Tell the world. Go follow Jason. Check out his new book. And, from here, you got to pick up the phone and call the damn leads. We'll see you guys next week.